Come, sit down. Pull up a chair. You look tired. I know that look. It is the look of someone who is running as fast as they can, just to stay in the exact same place. You did everything they told you to do, did you not? You studied late into the night, you got the degree, you landed the respectable job. You make $100,000 a year. When you were young, you thought $100,000 meant you would be rich. You thought it meant big houses, peace of mind, and never having to look at the price tag on a menu. But here you are. At the end of the month, the bills pile up, the mortgage takes a massive bite, the car payment takes another, and when you finally look at your bank account, you wonder, where did it all go? Why do I feel so empty? Why do I feel so broke? I want to tell you a story. Not about a family, but about a market. Because the truth is, your life is functioning exactly like a financial market, and right now, you are caught in a bubble. Back in the late 1990s, during the dot-com boom, I watched young men and women throw every penny they had into companies that produced nothing. They bought into the hype. The market was soaring, and everyone felt like a genius. They were buying the illusion of wealth. But markets are driven by two forces, fear and greed. Greed told them the good times would never end. Then the year 2000 arrived. The bubble burst. Fortunes vanished overnight. I saw grown men weep because they had built their entire lives on a foundation of air. They had leveraged their futures for a present that was entirely fake. Now, what does this have to do with you and your $100,000 salary? Everything. Because the middle class is experiencing its own perpetual bubble, its own silent trap. You are living through the irrational exuberance of lifestyle inflation. When you got that raise, when you crossed that six-figure mark, what did you do? You upgraded. You bought the car that matched your new title. You moved to the neighborhood that reflected your new status. You took on debt, the same way a foolish investor takes on margin, borrowing money to buy more stock, hoping it will always go up. You borrowed against your own future to buy the appearance of wealth today. In the financial markets, there is something called a margin call. It happens when the market turns against you and the broker demands you put up more cash or lose everything. The trap of the middle class is a slow, silent margin call on your soul. You are over-leveraged in life. Every month, your creditors, the mortgage lender, the auto loan company, the credit card issuers, they make their margin call. And you pay them with the best years of your life, the sweat of your brow, the hours you could be spending with your children. You are not building wealth, you are just a conduit, a middleman passing money from your employer straight to the banks. You make $100,000, but you spend $105,000. You are a highly paid slave to your own lifestyle. I remember another time, 2008. The housing crash. People thought real estate could only go up. They took loans they could not afford, trusting a system that was designed to prey on their desire for a better life. When the collapse came, it was not just money that was lost. It was dignity. It was hope. I had a friend, a brilliant man, making well over what would be considered a fortune today. But he was trapped. He had the boat, he had the second home, he had the private schools. He was a millionaire on paper, but he was drowning in the deep end of his own life. When the market crashed, his income dried up. The assets he thought were his salvation became an anchor dragging him down. He sat in my kitchen, a broken man, realizing that for 20 years he had been buying things to impress people he did not even like, using money he did not really have. He learned the hardest lesson of the financial markets: liquidity is survival. Cash flow is king. But he had neither. He only had the illusion. You see, the system is designed to keep you exactly where you are. The constant advertisements, the social media feed showing you the perfect vacations and the luxury goods, it is all marketing designed to keep the money flowing out of your pocket and into the hands of the corporations. They want you to feel successful, as long as that success requires you to consume. They are selling you a lifestyle that requires a subscription, a monthly payment plan that lasts until you die. But true wealth, my friend, is not what you spend. True wealth is what you keep. It is the gap between your ego and your income. When you lower your ego, when you stop caring about what the neighbors think of your car or your clothes, you widen that gap. You start accumulating capital. In the market, capital is ammunition. It is the power to weather the storm. It is the ability to buy when there is blood in the streets, to seize opportunity when others are panicking. If you are living paycheck to paycheck on $100,000, you have no capital. You have no ammunition. You are completely exposed to the whims of the economy. If your boss decides your position is no longer needed, you are days away from a crisis. That is not success. That is extreme vulnerability masked as prosperity. I want you to think about the greatest investors in history. They do not buy high and sell low. They do not chase the shiny new trend when it is already at its peak. Yet, that is exactly what the middle class does with their lives. They buy the biggest house at the top of their borrowing limit. They buy the brand new car the moment their credit score allows it. They are perpetually buying high, acquiring depreciating assets that plummet in value the second they are driven off the lot. It is the equivalent of buying a doomed stock simply because everyone else is talking about it at a dinner party. It is foolish, and it leads to ruin. The true investor waits. The true investor builds reserves. They have the discipline to sit on their hands, to live below their means, to gather cash so that when an incredible opportunity arises, they are ready to strike. You need to become the ultimate investor of your own life. You need to look at your paycheck not as a reward to be spent, but as raw material to be deployed. Your salary is a beautiful tool, a powerful engine. But if you have the engine connected to a leaky fuel tank, you will never get anywhere. The middle-class trap is the leak. It is the subscriptions, the expensive dinners, the vacations put on credit cards, the endless upgrades to the latest smartphones. It is the insidious belief that because you work hard, you deserve these things. Let me tell you what you truly deserve. You deserve to wake up on a Tuesday morning and not panic about your bills. You deserve to have the option to walk away from a toxic boss without wondering how you will feed your children. You deserve the profound, deep-seated peace that comes from knowing you are financially untouchable. That is what you deserve. But the market of life will not just hand that to you. You have to take it. You have to earn it through discipline and sacrifice. I have lived through recessions, depressions, stagflation, and booms. I have seen the cycles repeat themselves over and over again. And the victims are always the same. They are the ones who believed the trap. The ones who thought making good money made them rich, so they acted rich until they were truly poor. Do not be a victim of this cycle. Break the wheel. Build your capital. Protect your time. So, how do you escape the silent trap? How do you break free from the middle-class illusion? You must start thinking like a master investor, not a blind consumer. You must recognize that every dollar you earn is a seed. If you eat all your seeds, you will have no harvest. You must plant them in fertile soil, in assets that grow, in knowledge, in businesses, in investments that pay you while you sleep. You must endure the pain of downsizing your ego to upsize your freedom. It will hurt at first. Your friends might wonder if you are struggling. Let them wonder. Let them drive their least luxury cars to jobs they despise, while you quietly buy back your time. Time is the ultimate currency. In the financial world, compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. It is a slow, methodical process that turns small, consistent actions into massive, unstoppable force over time. But compounding works both ways. The debt you accumulate, the lifestyle you inflate, compounds against you, crushing you under its weight. You must flip the equation. Stop treating your income as a license to spend and start treating it as capital to invest. Cut the unnecessary expenses. Sell the car that is draining your future. Move to a smaller place if you must. Do whatever it takes to build a fortress of financial security around you and your family. Do not wait for the next market crash to learn this lesson. Do not wait until you are old and grey, sitting in a kitchen, weeping over the years you lost to the pursuit of things that did not matter. Wake up. See the trap for what it is. A gilded cage is still a cage. You have the key in your hand right now. It is your mindset. Turn the key. Step out of the illusion. Reclaim your life. Because when the final accounting of your life is done, nobody will remember the car you drove or the brand of the clothes you wore. They will remember the time you gave them, the peace you carried with you, and the legacy of wisdom you left behind. If this story resonated with you, if you feel the weight of what I am saying, consider joining our community. Subscribe. We share lessons like this every week, lessons from the past to protect your future. Take care of yourself, and remember, the greatest wealth you will ever possess is a quiet mind and a free soul.